Welcome to the Geelong zone. What a great win the Cats just had against the Swans. A game where I was nervous about. Very nervous. I thought Sydney played 4 quarters. I've said this all week. If Sydney played 4 quarters, it's going to be on. So this on my preview show. Played 2.5. In the third quarter, Geelong were outstanding. Blew the game open. We're going to review it. Don't want to do these too long. These reviews that long. Don't want to have a 25-30 minute show. So we'll get through it. If anyone wants to join, they are more than welcome to join. I've posted the link, Twitter and whatnot. First quarter for me was very even. Swans, they dominated the first 15 minutes. They got out to a 20-point lead. Geelong, the last 15 minutes of that first quarter, came back and they dominated that part. So the first quarter, scores were levelled, and that was appropriately so. Second quarter, it was more the same, really. Swans dominated. I thought they dominated the inside 50s all day. It was a bit like the Collingwood and Adelaide game last week, though it wasn't that much. Nowhere near it. But I still thought Sydney had a lot of inside 50s. They just kept on wasting it, bombing it long. Especially Stewart and Henry had field days. Stewart had 25 touches. But second quarter, carbon copy of the first. Sydney dominated the first 10 minutes, couldn't put it on the board. Geelong did. They slowly, at the end of the second quarter, Geelong slowly turned the screws. They led at halftime by 9 points, which I thought was appropriate. You know, they were starting to get on top. Last 5 minutes of that game, I thought they really started to get on top. Sydney kicked a late goal, which got it back to 9 points. So Geelong, up till halftime, played the slightly better football, and it showed on the scoreboard. Third quarter changed everything. I don't know what Dean Cox said to Sydney after halftime. Whatever he said or whatever he did, didn't work. Their effort dropped. They were poor, kicking it to absolutely nobody. What they did the first 2 quarters was complete. It was like bipolar. It was complete contrast in the third and fourth. Completely different. Which I felt weird. So it was like 2 game plans in the 2 halves. The first half game plan was, direct center clearance work, really fast ball movement. Second half, slow it down, switch kick. Why would you switch kick a ball when you're 60 meters out? I don't understand that. We saw that a couple of times in the third quarter, and it cost them a goal. They're really slow. They just bombed it really long. So it sounds to me, Dean Cox said, well, we're not going to win this way. Let's try a different way. So I didn't understand that. I don't understand that. But third quarter, Geelong were absolutely fantastic. Sydney won the clearances all day, which really surprised me. Stanley had a poor game, really. Thought if you're letting Laddams do that to you, who's a backup ruckman, with all due respect, what are you going to do down finals time? You're going to be a liability. But to Stanley's credit, in the fourth quarter, took some good marks. Really started to get on top. Especially late in the third quarter, even though Sydney did win the clearances, Stanley was getting involved. So I like how he finished the game. He was serviceable, Stanley, but not in the first half. Bailey Smith kept running all day, so did Max Holmes. I thought they were really good. I looked at the stats. Stats surprised me. Bailey Smith, 30 disposals. Now, I thought Warner was easily the best on ground all day with the eye test. Easily best on ground. Easily. He only had 23 touches. I thought he was way more damaging than that. Gordon, for me, only had 22. I said Heaney only had a one good half. Heaney got frustrated by O'Connor. I've got a theory behind that. I think there were some free kicks that he should have got. He got frustrated. Now, don't lose the plot. Don't be what Tom Lynch does. Don't do what Matthew Scarlett did to Hayden Ballantyne those years ago. Yeah, the umpires need to pay the first free kick, and players won't get frustrated. That's on the umpires. Now, I'm not saying condoning what Tom Lynch did to Jordan Butts. I'm not condoning what Heaney did to O'Connor throughout this game, pushing him in his side and his back in his head. Don't condone that. Should be suspended. Should be. But if the umpires pay the first free kick, we won't have a problem. Players won't get frustrated. And these were clear free kicks. As a Geelong fan, this is a Geelong content show. As a Geelong fan, those were some free kicks to Heaney. There's absolutely no doubt about it. So pay him. Papley today was embarrassing. I'm glad he's not a Geelong player. I'm glad he's not a Geelong player because I'd want him out of the club. I would want that dickhead out of that club. He's an embarrassment. He used to be an elite forward. He doesn't turn up for grand finals. He's not that kind of player. But my God, every time you touched him, he threw his head back, ducked into tackles. If there's any Sydney fans watching this, how the fuck do you put up with him? How the fuck do you put up with him? He is a complete dickhead. He's lost the plot. That was embarrassing today. And again, there were some free kicks where he literally did get his head knocked off. He didn't pay him because the umpire is going off reputation, which is wrong, by the way. That's pathetic. But that's what you get. I believe there was one in the third quarter where he got high tackled. That should have been paid. But because he flops his head around every single time someone touched him today, the umpires didn't want to pay it. Pathetic. That today was extremely noticeable by Tom Papley, and he did some good things. Kicked the goal at the end. But if I was Sydney, you're not going to win a final with this. You're going to win a flag with this guy. He is so selfish. Selfish. Many opportunities he had a chance to pass. There was a moment in the second quarter where there were two Sydney players inside the 40-50 by themselves. Tom Papley says, "You know what? I'm going to go for glory." Kicked it down Tom Stewart's throat. Not good enough. Absolute embarrassment. If there's any Sydney fans watching this, how do you feel about him? For me, that was embarrassing today, where he conducted himself. Embarrassing. I wouldn't trade him for a bag of chips. Would not trade him for a bag of chips. He's had 3 grand finals. He's kicked 3 goals. Might have to check that, but 3 or 2 goals. Gone missing. APB, all point bulletin. Where the hell are you? And then plays like that today. Embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Seriously. That little rant on Tom Papley will end. But Geelong, third quarter, turned up the pressure. Sydney couldn't handle it. Surprisingly, they couldn't handle it. Because they were so good against Brisbane. I didn't see this result coming. Well, I saw the result, but not how easily they did it, Geelong, in the end. Our pressure was fantastic. Our defense was fantastic. Tom Stewart was good. Tom Stewart probably played his best game of the year. Jack Henry probably played his best game of the year. Sam De Koning was good this game. He's been poor the last 3 weeks, Sam De Koning. He was very good today. Very good. It's interesting. As I said, I looked on the stats. My eye test told me something different. I said there was no real standout. There wasn't really a standout. Burley Smith had 30 touches. Didn't see that. Didn't see that. Tom Stewart had a good game, 25 touches. I said that all game. But from the eye test, there was no real standout. So I was surprised Bailey Smith had 30 touches. I was really surprised. Because I thought my eye test told me Warner had 40 touches. He had only 22. My eye test told me Golden had 30 touches. He had 21. So, it's funny game football, isn't it? Fourth quarter, Geelong, the game was really gone. Sydney kicked the first goal. I'm gonna mention this. They kicked the first goal. I was a little bit nervous. Geelong responded great. As soon as Sydney kicked that goal, they won the next two clearances. So they kicked the goal, they won a clearance again, and they kicked another goal. That response, that was for me the best thing I saw in today's game was that response. Because if Sydney kicked another goal, could have been really nervous. Really, really nervous. So I'm glad they responded to that. Now, Jeremy Cameron, I thought had a good game. That's what my test told me. Now, we obviously know he didn't kick a goal, but he presented that well, took some marks, took some uncontested marks. He played a couple of minutes in the midfield. I didn't mind that. I liked that. I liked how he played minutes in the midfield. That was good. It's all about goals. And I'm actually glad now. I'm glad that we can put this 100 to bed now. McCartan, one-on-one, McCartan was fantastic. McCartan doesn't get three. If McCartan doesn't get something out of this game, I'll go here. I don't know what you're going to do with defenders. If he doesn't get some kind of reward after this game, McCartan, what hope do they have? Definitely a vote in the Brownlow. Definitely, surely. And then kicked a goal on him. So not only kept him goalless, he kicked a goal on Cameron. If he can't get a single vote for that, I don't know. Give up. Just play 15 forwards. See what happens. But Cameron laid it up well. So it's amazing when you watch the game and you concentrate and then you look at stats. It doesn't back it up. Maybe stats are misleading. Maybe the eye test is misleading. Don't know. Shannon Neal for me was a strange one. First half was fantastic. Second half, APB, all points bulletin. Where the hell was he? Did he get subbed off? Bit like Darcy Fogarty, 1 quarter specialist. Well, Shannon Neal, 1 half specialist. Really went quiet. I actually thought for a minute he got subbed off. I literally thought he got subbed off. Didn't see him once. That's not a good player. That's not a consistent player. You cannot win games in finals when you play 1 good half and 1 shit half. It's just the way it is. When he gets the ball, he's a dead eye tick. He's up there with Fogarty. He's up there with Walker, Phil Thorpe, Darcy. He really flashes it, but he can't disappear in big games like that. The pleasing thing was his goal kicking accuracy, especially the goal outside 50. I don't like how he turns his back. I think that's a bit of arrogance, and that's not acceptable for a young player of that stature. But Stengel does that as well. Cameron does that as well. I can accept that with Cameron because he's a goal kicking forward. Been around for a long, long time, Cameron. Shannon Neal's a young player. You have no right to burn players like that. There was a couple of incidents where he turned his back and burnt players. Yes, he kicked the goal. That's fantastic. That's very good. But where were you in the second half, mate? Play like that in finals, mate. We're going to lose. We need you to play 4 quarters of footy. I'm not worried about Cameron's performance. Cameron was going to have a game like that. Or I always say, I saw people say Cameron's going to kick 4 or 5. That was madness. He was never going to kick 4 and 5 on that defence. Ever. Now, I didn't think he would kick none. I thought he would kick at least probably 2 or 3. Rest in peace to all the multis. 2 weeks in a row. Maybe we should bet on Shannon Neal kicking 4 goals in one half next week and 0 goals in the second half. Might win some money. There's Coach Lucas's bets for the week. 3 goals Shannon Neal first half, 0 second half against Tigers. Cameron won't kick 10 goals. So what's Cameron now on 80? I think he's on 80. He needs 20. All right. I would love Richmond to double team. If Neal kicks 10 because they double team Cameron, so be it. I want to see Cameron kick 15 goals plus in the finals. I want a 15 goal plus finals from Cameron. Then you can get your 100. So I hope Richmond double team Cameron next game. I hope they double team the hell out of him. Let Shannon Neal kick 10 goals for all I care. Then Cameron can kick 15 goals plus in the finals. That's 3 games. For 3 games, 15 goals, we win. We at least make a grand final. That's what I want. So I'm glad he had a goalless quarter. I'm glad. And I'm glad. The most pleasing thing is that we kicked 110 points. Well, he had a goalless quarter, a goalless game. That was the most pleasing thing about it. But Richmond, by all means, triple team him. If you let Stengel kick 10, Neal kick 10, so be it. For the sake of Geelong, let Cameron, so he needs 20 goals, right? Let Cameron only kick 5. Cameron, you got 3 games to kick 15 goals. I'd take that. It means we're going to make a grand final. But we'll see. Atkins, Dangerfield were very good in the inside today. They really bullied the Swans midfield outside of Heaney and Gordon. Outside of Warner and Gordon. I felt Sydney, outside of those 3 players, they're very depleted, which is strange because they weren't so that against Brisbane. When that last 5 weeks, this was like the GWS game. They fell apart after half time. So what the hell was Dean Cox saying to them? I've got no idea. So they fell apart against Gold Coast. They fell apart against Geelong. Sorry, against GWS. They fell apart against Geelong. Very interesting. That's coaching for me, not players. That's coaching. So whatever he's saying is either complete garbage, Dean Cox, or the message isn't getting through. You're in your first year and the message isn't getting through? Danger. Trouble. Signs ahead for the Swans. Because I don't think Geelong, this is my opinion, I don't think while they dominated the second half, I thought it's because of the lack of Sydney's pressure. They were awful, Sydney. This was a good win, don't get me wrong. This was a great win. Geelong picked up in that third quarter like a Bunsen burner. Absolutely brilliant. But Sydney, they just didn't want to show any fight. After half time, they were done, Sydney. A bit like their grand finals. Done. So Geelong play Richmond next week at GMHBA. Percentage won't matter because Crows play North, and North, though coming off a win, don't think so. They'll probably make it close. Harry Sheasel had a fantastic game. Had 54 touches. Hope he has 54 touches against the Crows. Probably won't even get 10. But I hope he has 54 touches. Hope they win. We smashed the hell out of Richmond. It won't matter. We're finishing top 2. We're most likely playing Brisbane. Would love to finish first and Collingwood 4th. But it seems we're playing Brisbane at the G. Fans wanted it. You want games at the G, you got it. Don't complain when we lose. You got exactly what you wanted. So it seems like that. Brisbane will finish 3rd. Adelaide will finish top. Geelong 2nd, Brisbane 3rd. So you got it, Geelong fans. MCG against Brisbane. What happened in the prelim? I know what happened in that prelim because I watched it. 3 quarters, we look good. Bad coaching errors in the 4th quarter cost us. Cam Rayner played a legacy game, destroyed us in that 4th quarter. Ollie Henry, where is Ollie Henry? Seems to me this coach likes Jack Martin more than Ollie Henry. I think that's so disappointing. We bought Ollie Henry across. We bought him across to play in these games, and we're not playing him. Why waste a draft pick? Why waste a player trading him? Don't get that. I really don't get that. We need Ollie Henry in the finals to win. We can't win without him. He's that important. Kicked 4 goals in that prelim final against Brisbane. He tried to win the game off his own boot. That's how important he is. Kicked 4 goals in that prelim. 2 minutes to go. We saw him kick that goal. Game we should have won. It is what it is. So Richmond next week, that should be a 60-point plus win. And then most likely Brisbane in the first week. Anyway, this has been a review of Geelong and Sydney round 22. Thank you for watching. And of course, always go Cats.